Hi, my name is Sean Carson.
And I'm Jess Marion.
And we'd like to welcome you to today's final installment of our 30-day Deep Trance Identification Challenge.
Now, over the 30 days, over the last month together, you've been on an incredible journey in which you went from finding just a specific time and place where you wanted to change, all the way through a complete DTI process. Now, we're just going to take a moment to recap just how far you've come. If you think all the way back to the first couple days of the DTI challenge, you found a specific context in which you'd like to do the DTI, a specific time and place where you'd like to act, feel, think, believe differently. From there, you pinpointed exactly how it is that you wanted to be different. What were these specific qualities and experiences that you wanted for yourself within that context? And those specific skills drove how you chose your model. You used those skills to pinpoint who would be the most ideal model for this experience.
Now, just because you chose the model consciously doesn't necessarily mean that your unconscious mind was on board. And that's when we went to the pendulum and we allowed your unconscious mind to either agree with the choice of model, or disagree, or agree with caveats, with the understanding that only certain skills and attributes of the model would be taken.
Now, once your unconscious mind was on board and said, yeah, let's go forward with this DTI, it's time to do the preliminary work to build the experience. And you did this specifically through building the events matrix, the specific times and places in the model's life in which they either learned the skills, states, and beliefs that you wanted, or they had the opportunity to express them, they were being in this way, and times in which those skills expanded, developed even more deeply. And you were able to do this because you allowed your unconscious mind and your conscious mind to absorb all the different areas in which you could be exposed to the model, whether it was through video or in person, or it was through audio recordings, or through autobiographies, biographies, and other written material. So you've built for yourself a wealth of conscious and unconscious knowledge about who the model is and how they are in the world.
Now, the quality of the DTI experience you have depends upon the level of rapport you have with the model, and therefore we showed you how to build that sense of rapport by seeing the model in front of you, noticing their key gesture, which was important for later on, and then beginning to match their breathing, etc. And then we took that a stage further and we did dream incubation, where you could actually meet the model in your dreams and interact with them. And you could also dialogue with the model in your imagination. And this really helps you to bring the unconscious mind into the process before you actually do the DTI itself.
Now it's time for the actual DTI, and we taught you a very easy and yet elegant technique to do this. We use perceptual positions. If you recall, perceptual positions are the different ways in which we can view the world. We can see the world through our own eyes. You're looking through your eyes, looking at us on your computer screen. Or you could step outside of yourself into third position and see yourself there looking at the computer screen. Or in the context of DTI, you could see yourself there and the model. Now, you could also then move into second position, in which case you step into the model's shoes, seeing through the model's eyes, looking back at you. Then finally, there's fourth position, which is about the space in between you and the model. That flow of energy and how this fits in, this DTI experience fits in to the greater picture, the bigger picture, the greater cosmos, if you will. So you have 4 different positions in which to do the DTI in. And we did it very simply. You start in first position, meeting your model and asking for permission to DTI with them. Then stepping outside of yourself, seeing you there, seeing the model there. Stepping inside the model's shoes, seeing through their eyes, and experiencing the world as them. And you may do this through experiencing different points in the model's life using the events matrix. You may also later on and through different techniques also do this within your specific context. Now, of course, then it's time to step outside of the model and have a sense of the expanded awareness that comes from existing in between self and model, allowing your unconscious mind to fully integrate everything you've learned through the DTI experience, as well as to leave with the model anything that's not worth taking, anything that just needs to belong to the model. This third position allows you to go ahead and let all of that go before you step back into yourself, back into your own shoes, and thank the model.
Now you've had your DTI experience, but that's really just an academic thing unless you're able to take those skills and abilities and actually bring them into your own life, into that the context where you actually need them. And so there's a number of tools that we gave you to help with this. There's the future pace, so you can step into a future experience or a past experience, taking those skills and trying those skills out in your own life, in your imagination, or indeed in the real world. There's the swish where you can take the DTI and you can actually attach it, you can staple it, if you will, onto the context where you need it. And of course, there's the beat pattern, which allows you to take the DTI and actually internalize it inside your own body using the key gesture, your feelings and emotions, the way you use your senses, and your thoughts. And then, of course, repeating this through a number of different contexts of your life really helps to generalize the process out.
And then now we're at the point where it's time for the ecology and to do some cleanup work so that you can take the DTI experience and fully apply it in the places in your life where it's most useful. And so we talked about doing the visual swash between yourself and your community, knowing that your community, your family, and your friends who have day-to-day interaction with you, that interaction may change slightly because you're changing, and all we are is changing. So the visual swash in this context allows you to negotiate any type of conflicts so that it's easy for you to integrate the DTI into who you are and to continue to have wonderful relationships with those in your life. We also talked about how to resolve limiting beliefs. Models typically have very, very empowering beliefs, and for the DTI process to be successful, it's important to bring some of those into your own life. And hey, it's a really great thing to have empowering beliefs. So we showed you how to change your beliefs using a very nice submodality process. And then finally in this part, we talked about integrating values when there may be a value conflict between yourself and the model. And the way to do this is to find the overreaching value in the DTI process itself, knowing that we are different people from our models. However, when you have this much higher value for the process, any differences can be integrated in a way that's ecological for who you are.
Now, of course, we know that you will fall in love with the DTI process, and you'll want to DTI with lots and lots of models. So we taught you a way to integrate all those into your life at the same time using the Council of Invisible Advisors, where all the models will be available to you at the same time.
Now, of course, the 30-day challenge, it's a wonderful opening to the world of DTI, and there's so much more out there. There really is, and unfortunately, we just couldn't cover it in 30 days. We could spend the next 5 years covering all the different areas of DTI. But we have a shortcut for you, because you can visit us on Amazon.com and find our book, Deep Trance Identification. In this book, not only do we go through in great detail the things that you've learned in the last 30 days, but we add a tremendous amount of information, detail, and techniques to that. For example, you'll discover the history and the neuroscience of DTI, why DTI actually works. You'll also be introduced to a number of different methods for DTIing, as well as change work and generative patterns which use DTI as a part of the process. So you're really just at the tip of the iceberg of what's absolutely possible through DTI. So you can check out our book, Deep Trance Identification by Sean Carson, myself, Jess Marion, with John Overdurf at Amazon.com. Also, in a few short weeks, we're going to be coming out with a companion book, which is our DTI manual. This is kind of the how-to practical guide that contains worksheets and different things that you can do, different tools to help you through the DTI experience, to make it even easier to fully integrate everything that is of value to you from your model.
So, this is the end of our 30-day challenge. And enjoy. It's really important to understand that DTI is a process. It's not a series of steps. We have to lay it out in steps just because of the format, but feel free to go back and repeat some step, or to repeat the whole thing, or to add your own twist. It's a process that exists between you and your model and the rest of your life.
So that's it for this 30-day challenge. Thank you so much for joining us and exploring DTI, and we look forward to speaking with you again very soon, either on another 30-day challenge or an exciting new series of videos that will be coming up very soon for you. Thank you so much.